Good morning, boys and girls. We're on a bit of we've had a bit of an adventure, and we've come to a different plot today, and it's Teddy's, our old friend Tez. Now, you've not seen this one before, so I just want to show you his setup inside of his polytunnel. We've obviously got the Tiki tunnel, but this one's Terry's tunnel. Terry's tunnel. Check it out. So this is Terry's polytunnel, and the dimensions are 15 along the long, and then at the front there where the doors are, it's 12 feet in width, and it stands probably about 8 feet tall. That, Terry, isn't it? He's just doing a bit of weeding there, boys and girls, as you can see. Hiya, Terry.
I'm weeding tarpaulin out of the soil.
Oh, these are the brassica collars, aren't they, Paul?
Yeah, for sure. Keep the snails off.
Bitumen roofing felt that.
That's all it is.
Right, okay. Just to keep the snails at bay and the root fly, cabbage root fly. So as you can see, the door entry system is a double door entry system. So you can have it as a kind of an airlock setup, but inside here are his beds. Now the beds are well laid out. Now the frame trellising that's all around here is for the peas and the beans. So internally to the polytunnel, this is his growing space, and it keeps all of the pests at bay. The quality of the pea plants, it's a shame we've not done this in summertime, isn't it, Terry?
It is, right, a bumper crop.
He had a cracking crop of peas, and that goes all around the sort of perimeter, as you can see there. But the beds, shallow beds, only about 5 or 6 inches deep there, and probably around about 10 inches wide, and the pea plant goes in there in successions of peas that go all along, and then they'll grow up there through the netting. Gives them something to grab hold of as they climb up to a height of, I'd say, about just around about 5 feet, and then obviously they can come over the top of that if they grow any taller. But with the variety of peas that you choose, you can get the ones that will grow up to like sort of 3 to 5 feet, and they'll be ideal inside here. And all this is decking timber, scraps of decking timber, offcuts of decking timber that is built round inside here. And that is one of Mick's tobacco plants that Terry got when it was about that size. The size of that bay leaf cutting. And that was probably, what, about 6 weeks ago, Terry? 6 weeks ago. And the quality that's inside this polytunnel, this has been unaffected by the look of it by slugs, whereas Mick's has been attacked savagely by the slugs. This one looks pretty pristine, really, when you look at that. And they're coming along really, really well. He uses the comfrey feed, feeds twice a week with the comfrey feed, and it's a cracking plant. Look at the leaf on that. This is a beautiful example, that one, isn't it? Look at that. Really dark green, no mottling on it. It's a cracker. But this is the pea setup all along there. So you probably get about, I mean, each pea plant will produce about 30 pods, won't it? So in here, over the season, you're probably getting about a couple of thousand pods of peas, aren't you? Easily. Probably 2,000 to 3,000 pea pods. And in each pod, about 8 peas. So you do the maths on that. You're talking 20-odd thousand peas in an area, really soil-wise, that's only probably going to be about maximum of about 3 meters square. But because of the layout of it in this sort of L-shaped configuration that he's got down here, he's maximising his vertical growing space, if you like. And I really, really like it. I like this setup, Terry. I really do, mate. It's brilliant.
No slugs, no nothing.
No slugs, easily controlled inside here, because you can just come in, you can visually check for slugs, you can put your slug preventative measures in, beer traps and what have you, and just keep a good eye on the crops as they're growing. So what about this bit here, Terry? You know, we've got about the peas there, but the beds in front, what do you have in the beds in front then? Lettuces and stuff?
Put anything in there.
All protected from the winds and it's kept warm and
Put
nice.
lettuce in. You can put your peas at the back, lettuce in the middle, and your tomatoes at the front.
So peas at the back, lettuces in the middle and tomatoes around the front, growing up on...
So you're getting 3 crops then on each side.
Yeah, because the lettuce doesn't need as much direct sunlight or anything, does it?
Plus, your carrots will be round another bed out where.
Yeah. They'll be like shallow-rooted carrots. They'll probably only grow about 3 inches.
Actually, they're that big.
How do they get on in here then? Is it okay? Do they grow well?
Don't get carrot fly, nothing.
But what about forking and stuff like that? Is it a fine soil mix you've got in there?
But I don't put fertiliser in, never ever.
Never?
You put fertiliser in, they don't grow. It's just like barren soil, no fertiliser.
Right.
We've had a big crop out of here, that's the last bit's what's left.
I know if you do put nutrition in as well, that's how your forking starts,
But if
isn't
you
it?
put them in barren soil, with what's all soil, they grow better.
Yeah.
They don't like fertiliser.
Right. And you've still got the last of your last sowing, I suppose, in there,
There's
isn't it?
left now there. So you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can get 7 to 8 crops in here, and you won't be standing on them or anything. Well spaced out.
Right.
So you set it out.
And it is well set out, this. This is a concrete floor as well, a poured concrete floor that's in there, and that goes around the sides. It's like a pro setup, this,
That
mate,
part,
isn't it?
what's not netted, that's for green beans.
Right.
So you've got your peas all round, and then the M1 is your green beans.
So will they be like French climbing beans then?
Extra long beans for big veg.
Yeah, because you like your long beans, don't you?
Which goes there. I've won it 4 times, I should do.
Yeah, 4 times champion of the long bean. What's the longest one you've had?
36.
A 36 inch?
Yeah.
That's a 3-foot bean.
3-foot bean.
That's some going, mate, isn't it?
I'll give you a tip, don't give them nitrogen.
Don't give them nitrogen. Ah.
They make their own nitrogen. If you feed
Just
more
leave
on,
it.
you'll kill them.
Is there any special feed you can tip us on for them, though?
All I put on is comfort.
Just the comfrey?
Just the comfort.
Just the comfrey. And you can get 36-inch beans.
So you
Do you have any special variety at all you can tell us about?
Just check the old beans off last year's, but obviously I've not grown them this year because there's no big veg competition.
Right.
So you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can get 8 crops in here.
8 crops going at the same time, isn't it?
No snails, no carrot fly, and they're perfect. Because you're not outside. Because the mice have the peas outside.
Yeah.
But in here, they don't, obviously. Plus you've got the ventilation with each end open. And I've had peas growing up to here. And coming over, and I've had to fasten them up. Because they've been
String
this
them
high.
up. Right.
Because they're getting the full sun in here, you see. And and the heat.
And of course you don't worry about bolting with the pulses because you want the flour, don't you?
I want them,
to get the pea.
Let them go.
Let them all get on.
But I've had tons and tons of peas out of here every year for the last 8, 9 years. Never let me down.
Right.
Plus they're only taking a foot of your room up.
I've just been saying now that's about probably 10 inches in breadth, and then, well, obviously the length, isn't it? So it's probably about 8 feet there, and it goes around in that L shape. But you don't need deep soil, do you? Shallow soil will do for pulses, won't it?
Shallow soil for peas.
Yeah.
So that soil is last year's soil. I won't throw that away. What I'll do, I'll feed that again, soak it in water, feed it with fertiliser, and it will do again for next year. You don't throw all soil away. As long as you put fertiliser back in it, it'll go for next year as well.
That's what I've been telling people, because
that's what happens.
You might have your...
Because it's dry doesn't mean to say it's dead soil. It's not. Put fertiliser in it, give it a good watering, and up the peas come again.
It's a growing medium, isn't it? It's a growing medium. Just as, on all it does, really, the soil is support the root system as it grows. That's all it's there for.
If you feed the soil, it'll grow year in and year out.
Exactly
But
right.
plenty throw the soil away when they're done with it, but you're just wasting it.
You're wasting it. Unless you've got any sort of serious pathogen diseases
Oh,
in the
I
soil,
know.
which is unlikely inside this
I've
place.
just
isn't it?
re-netted that for next season there, ready. Just re-netted all that on this side, put new netting on and everything.
I prefer the black netting, me.
I do, it's stronger.
Yeah.
It's stronger, the black netting.
And I think looking at mixed tents that he's got down there, he's done one in the black, and you can see through it a lot. There's a lot more visibility through it with the black, strangely, than there is with the green.
The green, the only trouble with that is it stretches and soon rips.
Which he's having problems with at the moment, mate, yeah.
But in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can get 15 tomato plants at the front.
So these buckets, are these buckets of what you, yeah, right.
All of them will be tomatoes and peppers.
And you're going to Jay's fluid the job.
Jay's fluid them about March, ready for spring. But I can get 15 tomato plants or pepper plants at the front. I can fill the middle with lettuce.
Yeah.
I can put peas at the back and green beans at the back, and I can put carrots in the corner.
And your carrots around
With
the
the
side.
same with the bed.
I think it's a brilliant setup you've got in here, mate.
You've got to
Really
make
is.
most of your room, haven't you?
You do. And you're doing that in here because he's getting the in-ground stuff, and he's getting the vertical growing coming on as well. And if you, like Terry's doing, is selecting the crops and where he's putting the crops, the stuff like the lettuces that don't particularly don't take much room, they don't require direct sunlight as a rule. They're better off in a shaded location, so they're going to be between the tomato plants and the peas, and they're going to get that shade and that moisture in the middle, aren't they, mate? Yeah, it's a cracking setup.
When I plants the peas in that one and in this one, you'll be talking about 100 pea plants going in.
Yeah.
Easy, 100 pea plants. You reckon what you get up 100 pea plants?
He's been working it out now. At least 1,000 pods. Well, off 100 pea plants. Of 100 pea plants, you're going to get at least 3,000 pods off them.
We bump a crop every year. Never lets us down the peas in here.
Yeah.
Because they've got the right temperature and the right soil. And
they're protected.
Through being close to the plastic, they're hitting the sun every day.
And keeping that warmth and the sunlight. Yeah. It's a nice tent, this, mate. It really is. When did you have you reskinned it recently, this?
I've reskinned it for 12 years, 11 years. Sorry.
So this has been up for 12 years?
It's been up for 11 years, this, and I got top grade plastic, UV controlled plastic, and there's another mark on it. It's been up 11 years, never moved.
Do you know, I wouldn't have thought 11 years for this at all, mate. It's looking really, really good, that.
11 years it's been up. It's top-notch plastic. It's grade 1 plastic toner.
What's it called? Satrafa?
That's the name of it.
That's the word,
protected.
isn't it?
So the sun can't burn, melt, or discolour it.
It dries it out, doesn't it? If you don't get the right sort of horticultural grade plastic, it dries it out, cracks it, and it just falls apart. But this is obviously cracking stuff, isn't it?
Now, this.
Yeah.
There's not a mark on the plastic.
I really, really like this setup. It's
but
really, really
more
good.
Crops in, you just have to watch your spaces, how you plant them and where you plant them.
Yeah.
See, plenty of put peas in the middle here. Well, why? Put them near the end.
Yeah.
They only need a foot of soil. That's all they need.
And like you say, with a gap in there as the sun comes over through the summertime, all the tomatoes in the middle are going to be getting a hit, aren't they?
Over that side. It was over this side. But since I put it over that side, see, it's getting the sun all day over that side. That's why it's shooting up like it is.
That's growing like a bloody triffid, that.
That's a bit sunny there. I know it's not a sunny day. But if you look at this side, it's darker. But since I've moved that over there, it's shot up. Because it's hitting the sun, you see.
That's what you want, the photosynthesis.
That's it.
Thanks very much, Jerry, for our little
no problem.
expose on your tent.
Space saving, I think they call it.
It is utilising and maximising the amount of growing space that you can put into an area, is what we're all about.
So my wife sees to the tunnel, and I see to the beds.
We'll have a quick look at beds if you want.
Look it between us. This is my domain, and the tunnel's Alex's domain.
This is Terry's domain, the externals. All his beds are being cleared off now, ready for next year. So would you cover these then? Are you going to cover them, or are you sleeping bare?
There's no weeds in winter, so we don't need to cover them.
There's not a lot of weed action going on, is there? Not a lot of growth.
In winter, so we don't need covering.
Oh, we got little collies there.
I've just picked what's left out of there off now. They've died off now, so I'm just pulled the last few up.
And these are what? They'd probably be about, what, 5 foot by 5 foot beds, these, will they?
Yeah, 5 by 5.
Yeah. All sectioned off. Sectional beds, then. Some people call them raised beds, but they're not.
My onions are going in these 2 beds.
Right.
2 beds of onions, which you can see.
Are you going to overwinter them then, yeah? You're going to be putting them in?
I've taken a lot home.
Right. There again, you've got another little trellis growing area.
Long green beans.
Right, so you do your long ones in there as well, do
I
you?
can do them in there, or I can do runner beans in there. And like I said, that's only a foot wide.
Right.
And then down here, when I get rid of all this old wood, there'll be tomatoes going on.
And this is just like a lean-to?
It's just a makeshift greenhouse I made.
With your excess poly?
Excess poly up there, yeah.
Very well ordered, very well laid out this, mate, very good. So all the sheds and like a sort of I suppose you could use as a potting room as well, couldn't you? Is all up at the top end, leaving the growing space down there.
Exactly.
There's for the birdies. Oh, it's very neat and well ordered, this, mate. I'll have to get inspiration for mine, because mine's not neat and well ordered at the moment.
A lot of work gone in, but with it.
But with it.
A lot of work gone into it, but with it.
I'm hoping we're going to get the lads down with the wood chipping as well.
That's what we're sure.
Because we've not had a drop for a while, have we, on the wood chips? We need a couple of wagon loads, I think.
That's not a wood chipper that's coming, is it? Oh no. They're putting manure on Barry's plot.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah.
Putting manure on Barry's plot.
His grandson, I think, isn't it? He gets it for him, doesn't he? Oh, yeah, it's a lovely setup, this. You can sit here, Terry, and survey his kingdom from this spot here.
All new beds as well.
Right, yeah, have you renewed all these beds?
Renewed them all. All rotted the others.
Terry favours the red cedar like I do. I like the red cedar.
Nice.
That's a job for winter, getting all that painted up.
I know.
And as you can see, they're tied up in the same way that we do. We just tie up the nets over winter, leave them like that, leave the soil bare.
That's ready for next year, collies and cabbage.
Let the robins have a go at it and pick out all the bugs, don't you?
Collies and cabbage there next year, that's ready for planting next year.
In these two, yeah.
Collies at back, cabbage here.
So your brassicas are going to be going into the netted bit.
Yeah.
We've got to keep them free from the pests like the pigeons and the cabbage white butterflies and stuff like that. The netting does the job for that. What's going to be going in? Are you going to get onions in there?
Beetroots in these. Beetroots and turnips.
Beets and turnips in these
Set
two.
all my beds out ready for next year. So bottom beds will be sweet corn 2 beds.
Right, so you know what's what with the planting
Courgettes
setup.
in 1 bed here. Cabbage, collies, beetroots, Swedes. And then 4 beds at the top of the potatoes.
Potatoes down there at the top. And they're going to be ridge mounded, aren't they? Yeah. Do you mound them up? Yeah. Yeah. Some people don't mound them up, but I prefer mounding them up.
Until they pop through.
Yeah.
That's what plenty do. They mound them up before they come through, and then the potatoes shoot all over the place. But if you leave them till they come through, about 3 inch through, then mound them. Then they grow straight up.
Right. Yeah, wait for they're called the horns when the shoots come through. They're called the horns of the potato for some reason, and then you know where they're going to be popping up and where the actual growth of the horns coming, and then mound up over that, and it looks like the Himalayas, you know. It's all stacked up and
let them come through about 3 or 4 inch first.
Yeah.
And then mound.
So hopefully next year. This year we had trouble because we got the frost. Were you affected by the frost when they came through? Did you get away with it?
I cut the tops off, but they came back through and I managed to save them.
Right.
through cutting the brown tops off. If you left the brown tops on, they would have gone down to...
And you'd have got rot down to the root then, wouldn't you? That's what we did. We just chopped all the black off and then let the new green growth grow through. Yeah.
I managed to save them out.
What spuds are you growing this next year?
Parker.
You're doing the
I
pipers?
do them every year, Morris Park.
Do you know, I'd never done them until last year, and we did the best. We got the best results from the Morris.
Best spud you can get. And as for onions, mine keep till February, March now.
And what sort of them? Centurion.
They're the best storing onion going. They never go soft or damp or anything.
There's a tip for you, Centurion. We've got them Centu overwintering ones in.
Can't beat Centurion. They're fantastic.
Centurion.
Them's been hanging at top now since end of August. And they're still rock hard. They'll be rock hard in March.
Centurion. Well, there's a tip for you boys and girls. Get onto them. I've never grown Centurion, but we always listen to the wise elves down here. Yeah, nice setup, innit? There's his hawk. So we didn't really explain about the double door system and the ventilation system that Terry's got in here. So I can talk us through it now, mate, if you want. I'll just get behind you.
If it's wet through with the condensation, which all tunnels do,
yeah,
I can close the doors, but I also have a flap. So what I do, I lift that up that way, fasten it up, and I'm getting air coming through.
You've got a little clip there, haven't you, at the top of it?
I can clip it there if I want to shut it.
Right.
If it gets really cold, I can close that, and then unclip it when it's warm, and let the air go.
And that'll allow the vent coming through.
Same at that end as well.
And the same this end. So as the warmer and the moisture rises, it comes up and it can get vented through.
Through there.
And you can see there's a double net in there to prevent the bugs from ingressing. But you get the ventilation coming through, and again he's got his little clasps there to hold the polycarbonate in. The clear twin wall polycarbonate.
If it gets really cold, I close that end, and what I do with this is just close that, and then I close the main door, which is this, when I go out, lock that, and then it's sealed all through, keeping the cold out.
So during the summertime, this inner door will be left open, but the outer door...
In the summertime, I'll let that go down, I'll open this, and then all I do is lock the mesh door.
Yeah, he's got a slide catch there.
I've got a slide catch here, and that's locked now. So the air is going straight through both doors.
Venting through, like a wind tunnel. Yeah, we didn't show you that before, but I thought I've just been discussing it now with Terry there. Belting, mate, fantastic. Top banana.
Top banana. So when it gets really cold, it's just that, and we're done.
And that's done. But then the clear
plastic and that keeps the cold out.
Keeps the cold out, but allows the sunlight to come in and get it nice and warm.
That's it.
Open you go. What temperatures in here? Because it's only 7 degrees out, so 15 degrees Celsius.
It would be warmer. It would be warmer if I shut both doors, but I don't want, because I don't want the condensation to start dripping.
Yeah. So it's a fine balance between the moisture retention. If it is all closed up, you get the evaporation coming from the soil that collects then on the inside of your polytunnel, and you get the rain. It's like a bloody green. It's like a greenhouse set up in it, and it can rain inside here. You get a little microclimate.
Every tunnel has to be vented. Not many know that.
Yeah. Otherwise, you get too much damp. You get moles. Condensation, you get all kinds of issues when it's too damp.
And then your veg starts down with spores and mould.
Spores and mould. Fantastic. Right. Cool, man. See you in a bit.
See you tomorrow.
Alright, so that's our mate Terry. We're going to have to think of a nickname for Terry. He's not got one at the moment, but we will be looking at getting him one. Mick calls him Terry Thomas. Who was a famous actor as a cad and a bounder, but we can't have that one. We'll have to think of one for Terry. But yeah, he's got a cracking little setup, hasn't he? All well ordered, well maintained. It's a beautiful little setup. People take pride in him down here. There's a lot of good growers and a lot of keen, enthusiastic gardeners down here in Eden. and it's inspired me to get a bit of work done anyway. So I'm going to get off and get cracking down there. Might have a cup of coffee with Mick first, and then we'll see how we get on. Right, thanks boys and girls. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. And remember, as always, we love you all. Keep growing with your heads down. Ta-ra.